welcome everyone to this rather unusual event, but something that we really need to support. And we as the Museum Society have been supporting this project for the last 11 years. It really gives me great pleasure to collaborate with the St. Xavier's College, especially the Department of Ancient Indian Culture, where we have many of our members, including our Vice Chair, Professor Dr. Anita Rane Kothari, who will be speaking after me, and Professor Jason Johns, who will be giving the vote of thanks and who did the introductory housekeeping remarks right now. The department really trains scholars in museology and conservation. But this is a program of the undergraduate students. So they're just starting college. They're in their first, second, and third year. They show a tremendous amount of enthusiasm. I have attended these programs actually in the college, and it is really the training ground for what the future could hold for these students if they go into whatever field they select, whether it is tourism, academia, journalism, promoting arts and crafts, dealing with the physically challenged, the mentally challenged. So it has a whole host of connotations that exhibitions like this offer us. And we really are delighted as one of our main outreach programs for young adults to participate in this. I was so happy that Dr. Rajendra Shinde, who is the principal of St. Xavier's, and the rector, Father Keith D'Souza, along with Anita, Professor Anita Rane Kothari, and Dr. Radha Kumar, who joined us from overseas to launch this magazine, which was brought out at the time of the launch of the exhibition. I was really happy. It's a very comprehensive magazine. I've held it up here for those of you to see. And it's well brought out, precise, concise. It covers their activities, it covers their aims and objectives. It has interesting articles like The Enigma of Violence and Mythical Warriors, written by Sophia Udaipuri, who's a MA Part 2 student. There are other articles in this book as well by Riya Shukla, SYBA, Mahabharat, Re-establishing Patriarchy. So Anita and her team have selected some wonderful articles and have promoted these young minds to learn to write, to research, and to demonstrate their capabilities. And this time they're demonstrating their capability of this virtual exhibition. Alekham as 1,000 Beliefs, One Meaning, this magazine, many things are covered in this in these topics. As I said, it's a virtual exhibition. It's an aspirational exhibition. It talks about conservation. It talks about event management. So I'm really happy that we launched this magazine and we had the opportunity to quickly present this virtual exhibition to you. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, enjoy it. Please remember that it's a student program, but they've tried to do it as professionally and as clearly as they possibly could. And when I say clear, clarity of thought, design, and content. So thank you very much. I don't wish to stand between the event and all of you, but I would like to invite Professor Dr. Anita Rane Kothari to say a few more words in depth about what you're going to see. And then we launch into this program. It's a short program, not more than 20 minutes, half an hour at the most. And sit back and enjoy it. And please do encourage our students, because that's the whole purpose of an event like this. Technical team, thank you for being with us again. And now I hand you over full screen to Professor Anita.
Thank you, Dr. Firoza Godrej, and that was really very touching and encouraging. I think this is what gives us a boost over here to go ahead in life. And as it is rightly said over here, what is happening? Akasha patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaram keshwa prati gacchati. That means just as the water from the heaven goes to the sea, so also prayer to any god reaches the ultimate. And I think today is what we are seeking for. Like, for example, when we are in COVID, we are, you can say, praying to, you can say, Almighty in different format. We are taking medicines, whether it's allopathy, homeopathy, but all of them are seeking for nothing else but a cure. And I guess that was the main idea behind this, that how many beliefs we can have. Like, for example, it's my duty to wish you all happy Pongal and Makar Sankranti today. One festival celebrated in Deccan and North India, and the other one celebrated in South. And you'll see that all of them aim towards a harvest with different names, meaning the same. So if you'll go to see in a country like India, we have so many diversities, but as you all say that all roads lead to Rome. So also this concept I'm trying to show you through with the help of the students over here, that how you can say different whether directions, whether it's north, south, east, west, are trying to lead you on the same path. There is a diversity, but the diversity is trying to tell you the real truth. And I would like you all to explore it in a little format. And of course, what happens is that when we can't meet physically, we meet virtually. And that is an attempt which we try to make over here, that our soul always remains, you can say, it is, you can say, it'll never die over there. That is the most important thing. It continues, you can say, in various cycles. And therefore, as the Bhagavad Gita rightfully says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kleshadantyapako, na shoshayati maruta. That means no wind, nothing, no fire, nothing can damage the soul. You might just shred off your clothes over there, but you're going to continue in new attire. And that's what we thought, that maybe if not physically, you can say, show the exhibition to you all. Virtually, we can create one, we can show it to you all, and the message can reach to all of you all. And that is what we really thought. Why not do it in this manner and express ourselves to you all? And thank you for encouraging this for my students, because they would love to, you can say, work more upon all these aspects. So once again, Alekyam will show you all different aspects of, you can say, textile art, and how you can say spirituality is represented in different format, whether it's north, south, east, west, in different forms. Just as you and I, we are human beings of different kinds, yet we are all the same. The soul remains the same. It can never die. So once again, I thank you all. I wish you all happy Pongal and Makar Sankranti. Sit back and enjoy it. Thank you very much. And of course, before I forget, once again, I thank the entire team who created, you can say, this exhibition. There were students from undergraduation and post-graduation, whether it was Mrinalini, whether it was Shania, whether it was Abhijit Dumal, there was Sanjana, all of them worked extremely hard over here. Karen, Glenn, everybody. I might have missed some students over here. Jason was there standing, Tejasvi, Makali, all of us stood back and they created this beautiful thing, because virtual exhibitions is something which is another concept coming up, and we can reach out to you all with the help. All the, you can say, art forms all over the world can be put forth to you all in this format. So I thank you all once again. And Jason, I ask you all to screen it. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to our Legium. I am Shania, your docent for this exhibition. Religion, in particular, has always seen art being used as a vital means of communication. Limiting the expression of religious discourse to textual sources would be impossible, as art expands our scope to give religious philosophies, ideas, and discourses a visual, tangible form. Examples of this can be seen in various religious institutions across the world and across time periods. It reminds us of the importance of harmony. Among all, it reminds us of the ephemerality of humankind and the sublimity of the cosmos. Art ensures a wider audience, as its comprehension is not dependent on language but on visual expression that caters to diverse groups, thus lending its universal nature to religious discourse. Today, we present to you one such form of art, textile paintings. The exhibition will be looking at textile paintings from all over the Indian subcontinent. We will start with the east, move to the south, and proceed to the west and north. We shall close with a special gallery curated on artworks created by the students of St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. We will start with the direction of the rising sun. The east of our subcontinent is not often given the appreciation it truly deserves. We start with a brief peek into this untapped world from the unique eye of paintings from the east. As Vividha this year looks at religious subjects with a new approach, we at Alekyam revisit textile paintings in India and document perspectives on devotion, heritage, and humankind. East Gallery. Here is the first painting titled Lord Shiva with his 5 adopted Bishari daughters made in the Manjusha style. Manjusha art is a compilation of paintings describing the local folklore of Bihula Bishari. It is revered in Bhagalpur region of Bihar on the occasion of Bishari Puja. Interestingly, all the characters of Manjusha art resemble the English alphabet X. This folio depicts the story of the birth of Mansar Sisters from Shiva's hair. These 5 sisters were accepted by Lord Shiva as his daughters, but Parvati refused to accept them. Annoyed, they bit her in their snake avatar. Lord Shiva then intervenes and pleads with them to revive Parvati. A revived Parvati then accepts the Mansar sisters and gives them a boon. This boon makes them immune to all kinds of snake poison, wish, and from then they came to be known as Bisharis. Now moving on to the next painting titled Jagannath, Balbhadra and Subhadra at Puri Temple made in Odisha Pattachitra form. For many centuries, Jagannath Puri Temple has been an important Hindu pilgrimage site. Jagannath is a locally revered deity who was considered as an avatar of Vishnu. At times, when the temple was not accessible to devotees, Pattachitra provided them with an alternative medium of worship. This style originated in Odisha. The word Pattachitra literally translates to cloth paintings. In this painting, we can see the actual structure of Jagannath temple at the center inside the Shikara. Lord Jagannath can be seen on the right with distant big eyes along with his brother Balbhadra. With a closer look, their sister Subhadra can be seen in between them. They are all seated on an embellished dais in the Garbhagriha. Other aspects of significance surrounding the temple are scenes of mythological narratives like Dashavatara of the apex of the Shikara. Let's proceed to the last painting of the east wall titled Yamapatta Scroll made in Bengal Pattachitra style. Each painting had certain basic purposes, messages or ideas which they wanted to convey to their audience. Main purpose of these Yamapatta or Jamapatta was to make people aware of the consequences of their bad karma and encourage them to indulge in good moral behavior. This patta describes a person facing various repercussions in hell for the sins he committed in the mortal world. At the top, we can see Yama, the god of death, shown in black, surrounded by 2 demon-like figures. Below, a person pulling a cow's tail is shown. As we go down further, we can see various punishments that the sin soul is facing in hell. South Gallery. The tradition of narrating a story through paintings is seen to be continued in the southern painting styles. Here we have painting number 4 titled Life of Lord Rama made in Cheriyal painting style. Cheriyal painting, named after the Cheriyal village of Telangana, is a key element of its social and cultural setting. They were made by people of the Nakashi community, and hence they are also known as Nakashi Scrolls. These 40 to 45 feet long scrolls were a visual aid to the bards for narrating stories from mythological epics. The scroll seen here is based on Ramayana and describes some events from Lord Rama's life. Ganesh can be seen on the upper left corner of the scroll. At the center, we can witness the episode of Sita Swayamvar, where Rama breaks the golden bow. Other episodes such as the episode of King Dashratha, Rama's father, going hunting, Rama protecting sages from demons, and Rama freeing Ahilya of her curse can be seen in the top right corner and at the bottom of the scroll. Let us proceed to the next painting under South Gallery titled Christ's Life made in Kalamkari style. Persia's contribution to India was Kalamkari, which was first used in Indian art in the 15th century. Kalamkari is derived from 2 words, kalam, which means pen, and kari, which signifies creativity. This magical art has been passed down through the years and is still practiced in Andhra Pradesh. This particular Kalamkari painting is about 14 kgs in weight and portrays Christ in syncretic, Indianized majesty form. Here, like the previous painting, Lord Ganesha can be seen at the upper left corner. We can see the events starting from the birth of Christ, his teachings and his life events leading up to his crucifixion. These events can be interpreted using the Telugu language script, which is inscribed on horizontal white strips. Moving on to the third painting under Southern Gallery, titled Shiva Nattaraj with Adorers, made in Tanjore style. First and foremost, this is an excellent example of a Tanjore painting, as most works of Tanjore school of art depicted are religious. This art style is named after the city of its origin, Tanjore in Tamil Nadu. In these drawings, dark red, dark brown, blue and green colors are often used for painting backgrounds. To highlight the importance of painting as an art, some parts of Tanjore style paintings are painted with pure gold liquid. The central figure painted in white is that of Nattaraj, who is flanked on the right by his consort Shivagami Devi, painted in green. The representation of main figures seems to be in a temple-like outline. Both these figures are flanked by priests and devotees who are most probably conducting an evening arti. West Gallery. As we proceed to the West Gallery, cloth paintings in this region are usually used as backdrops for deities along with story narration. Here is the seventh painting titled A Traditional Matani Pacheri. 300 years ago, the Vagri community living on the banks of Sabarmati started this tradition of worshipping hand-painted cloth painting as they were denied entry in temples. They used to hang these paintings of goddess behind the temple shrines. Thus, they came to be known as Mata Ni Pacheri in Gujarati, where Mata means goddess, Ni means belongs to, and Pacheri means behind. A traditional Mata Ni Pacheri is made in a certain standard format and uses only three colors, which are black, red and white, as can be seen in the folio. At the center is the image of the goddess framed in a shrine surrounded by her worshippers. Ganesh, who is considered auspicious, is seen on the right of the goddess. Further, a shaman holding his whisk and the sacrificial goat can also be seen. To the left side, we can find references from some epic stories such as Shravan Kumar from Ramayana, symbols like Rama's bow or Krishna's flute. Apart from this, there are singers, dancers, musicians, animals, birds, along with some beautiful floral decoration indicating the mood of celebrations. Now proceeding on to the next painting titled Story of Babuji, made in the Fud painting style. Following the 700-year-old tradition, local folk tales of Rajasthan are depicted on long horizontal pieces of hand-woven cotton cloth known as Fuds. They form a visual backdrop for all-night story narration and performance by bards and priests called bopas, and they represent a folk narrative. The Joshi families of Bilwara and Shahpura are the traditional artists have practiced Fud paintings. This Fud depicts the story of Babuji, whom the locals consider as an avatar of Vishnu. The images of Ganesh, Riddhi, Siddhi, Saraswati and the depiction of Dashavatar can be seen in the top left corner. Then starts the depiction of this folk deity's life story, beginning from his birth to death. Most scenes of Babuji are centered around the Darbar. These events are a depiction of political and social conditions of those times, like the presence of Baolis, floral fauna depictions, musical instruments, war weapons, etc. Due to his high social status, Babuji's figure is larger as compared to other characters. Proceeding on to the ninth painting titled Srinaji Annakut Utsav, made in Pichwai style. Pichwai painting is a 400-year-old tradition of fabric art that originated in Natwara village of Rajasthan. They form an essential part of Pushti Marg worship and express devotion for Krishna. These pictorial textiles are made specifically for use as backdrops in the shrines of Srinaji. This Pichwai depicts the celebration of Annakut Utsav, exactly similar to the way it happens in the Garbhagriha of Srinaji temple. We can see Srinaji and his 7 forms are represented with a huge mound of rice and moong, which represents the Mount Govardhan. Along with this, various baskets of food and sweets are also offered by priests and devotees. In gold embellished bordered band are images of individual depictions of Srinaji's various darshans. An interesting fact about this style is that while painting, the artist paints half-closed eyes of the deity to create a perception that the deity is looking at the devotees. The eyes are painted at the end, after which the painting is ready for worship. North Gallery. Then finally commencing to the North Gallery, we have paintings that hold mediative significance. The whole process of making these is ritualistic and follows certain guidelines of holy Shastras. Here is the 10th painting titled Rato Machindranath Temple, made in the Pava style. Parbas are traditional religious paintings from Nepal, which originated around 12th to the 14th century CE. While painting, the eyes of the deity are opened in the end, which signifies that the painting is complete. The color scheme of Parba is very specific, which includes 5 basic colors like red, blue, black, yellow, and white. This Parba depicts the temple of Rato Machandranath, who was popular as the rain god, particularly in Nepal. He was a 10th century yogi who considered Shiva as his teacher. Though he was of Hindu faith, Buddhists revered him as Red Padmapani Avalokiteshvara, whereas the Hindus revered him as an avatar of Shiva. At the center of the syncretic Parba, in a temple-like outline, sits the Red Lord. In the registers above are scenes from the life story of Buddha Shakyamuni, accompanied by images of Hindu gods. Many patrons and devotees are arranged in rows across the bottom registers. They can be identified by the legends inscribed below each figure. Now moving on to the 11th painting titled Tanka Vajrapani Krodha, made in the Tanka style. Tankas are considered a visual representation of a spiritual reality. This style originated in Nepal around the 7th century CE and then was practiced in various regions including north of India. These are usually done by laymen under the supervision of lamas but have no religious value unless consecrated by a lama. This rectangular Tanka depicts a large blue deity known as Vajrapani. This Vajra holder is a wrathful deity manifesting qualities like protection and power. To emphasize on the Krodha aspect, he is surrounded by self-radiating fire. We can see him dancing in Alidasana. Further, he is wearing a crown, jewel ornaments, scarf and a tiger skin as his lower garment. Apart from this, there are 3 seated Buddhas above the central figure and 2 standing Bodhisattvas below. Now moving on to the 12th painting titled Mandala of Baisajya Guru, also made in the Tanka style. This Tanka depicts the Mandala of Baisajya Guru, Buddha of medicine. The composition of a mandala in Tanka is usually fixed and uses the usual color scheme of lime white, red, arsenic yellow, vitriol green, carmine, vermilion, lapis lazuli, blue, indigo and gold for backgrounds and ornaments. Here we can see Baisajya Guru surrounded by the 8 Buddhas of medicine. One is himself repeated. This Tanka has the mandala as its central element. The deities of the pantheon become secondary and thus are located in various corners or placed as prescribed in the holy text. In the upper left, we can see Tashangappa, whereas in the upper right, probably a Dalai Lama is depicted. In the lower portion, we can see Yamantak, Mahakal and Yama with Yami. Now moving on to the special gallery curated on artworks created by students of St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. Our call to the students was to add in their own interpretations and perception of religion. This resulted in fascinating expressions which will also provoke unique insights in your minds. Through this exhibition, we attempted to portray a glimpse of various religious traditions of cloth paintings. But that's not all. India's cultural heritage has a lot to offer and explore. Various regions of the Indian subcontinent have their own distinct style of art. Thus, this exhibition is our small contribution in the collective effort of heritage specialists to protect the intangible heritage of traditions and tangible material pieces is the responsibility of all those who commit to Indian culture. We aspire to awaken a sense of collective responsibility for the conservation, preservation, and passage of the past and the present, because change is the only constant and history is continuous in making. Gratitude is the attitude of multitude. Amidst the uncertainty of the pandemic, we are truly grateful to our college administration, Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology, and student team, who have personally taken enormous efforts to make Vividha 2022 happen. Thus, we would like to appreciate their efforts and express our utmost appreciation to all those involved. To begin with, our dear college, St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, for the values and experiences it has inculcated in us. We are truly grateful to our principal, Dr. Rajendra Shinde, for all his generous support. We would now like to express our gratitude to our department and appreciate the efforts of our professors and mentors, Dr. Anita Rane Kotare, Dr. Radha Kumar, Professor Jason Johns, and Professor Tejaswi Mehta. It was due to their constant support, guidance, and encouragement that we could take up this challenge of setting up the first ever virtual Vividha. The task of creating Alekyam helped us to learn and experience everything that goes behind the screen, right from planning to executing the whole exhibition. Phil Jackson rightly says, and I quote, "The strength of the team is each individual member." To the wonderful team of Vividha, beginning with Mrinalini Sampath, our dedicated overall head and companion, Aishwarya Prabhune, Sanika Gurav, Shania Figueiredo, and Merishka McKinnon, who willingly took up the tedious challenge of arranging, analyzing, and collecting all the exhibition content. Sanjana Ratnapaki for her continuous efforts in giving her advice to make the best of Vividha. Abhijit Dumal for all the initiatives to cater to the technical and digital aspect of the gallery. We thank and appreciate the skills of our many talented young students who have contributed to the special gallery. We also extend our gratitude to the Richard team, our department alumni, our supporters and well-wishers. Although our exhibition was a part of an educational initiative, we sincerely appreciate the various museums and other sites for making their collection public and accessible. So we extend proper copyrights and courtesy to the content and image providers. Thank you for visiting our virtual exhibition. Hope you stay safe and take care. Team Alekyam.